Psalm 118 verse 23 says, "This is the Lord's doing, it is marvelous in our eyes." Psalm 118 is a psalm of thanksgiving, victory, and divine intervention. Verse 23 stands as a profound declaration of God's sovereignty in turning impossibilities into realities. The psalmist reflects on what God has done, acknowledges that it was beyond human strength, and declares it to be marvelous. This verse is a spiritual key. It teaches us about recognizing God's hand in our lives, appreciating His works, and testifying to His glory. The first part of the verse says, "This is the Lord's doing." God's hand in the affairs of men. Every breakthrough, every answered prayer, every closed door that suddenly opens, is ultimately the work of God. No matter the opposition, when God speaks, it is established. Job 22 verse 28. The stone the builders rejected, verse 22, became the cornerstone, something men despised became the very foundation of God's plan. This is divine reversal. When it is the Lord's doing, there is no explanation that can fully capture it. It defies logic, strategies, or human manipulation. Testimonies that carry God's signature are undeniable. Even enemies are forced to acknowledge His work. The second part says, "It is marvelous in our eyes." Marvelous means beyond human understanding. God's acts are often marvelous because they surpass what men thought was possible. Marvelous means jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, miraculous. When we see the hand of God, it calls us to worship and testify. The psalmist didn't keep silent, he proclaimed it so others could also glorify God. If you can recognize what God has done before, you will believe Him for greater works ahead. Marvelous deeds of the past are seeds of faith for the miracles of the future. Practical lessons from Psalm 118 verse 23. 1. God specializes in reversals. The rejected stone became the chief cornerstone. What people counted out, God counted in. What people said would never amount to anything became the very foundation of greatness. 2. Don't judge your destiny by man's opinion. Men may reject you, look down on you, or call you unqualified, but when God places His hand upon you, no rejection can stop His elevation. 3. Your testimony will be undeniable. God's works in your life will be so evident that people cannot ignore them. They may not like you, but they cannot deny God's doing in you. 4. Glory must return to God. The psalmist did not take the glory. He acknowledged, "This is the Lord's doing."